March 13th, 2014. I have to share this story with you. Meet some really interesting people on a daily basis at work, and this old guy, I call him an old guy because he's older than I am, so he's an old guy, had just lost his dog. He was talking, he had a wolf hybrid, and I mentioned that I had one too. And he just lost his like a year ago, passed away. Had him for like 15 years. And the story goes that his wife had a dog, and he tried to explain that it was a circus dog. It has two rows of teeth. He said it really does. You could open up the mouth, you could see it had two rows of teeth. So I'll have to look that up. But that's I've never heard that before. But there's a certain type of dog called a circus dog that had two rows of teeth. Now, the dog wouldn't climb the steps. You know, we have steps that, like 8 steps that go down to like a landing, and then you get another 8 steps to go down to the lower floor. The dog would not walk down the steps, but it would jump from the top to the landing, and then from the landing to the bottom, and then vice versa to get back and forth. But it would not walk the steps. It would jump from landing to landing. And the way the upper landing had a couch that backed up to where the railing was, and the dog would always be perched there. So when he walked in the door, the first landing, you could see the dog up at the top or down in the lower level. And the dog had jumped off that, the one with the 2 rows of teeth, and landed on the wolf dog. And the wolf dog turned around and bit the one. Now, this is where I remember I could relate very, very much to the story, because Pepper, our hybrid wolf dog, was not friendly to anything that had 4 legs. People could care less, just ignore them. But anything that walked through the yard or walked anywhere within sight, he would just go crazy. He just did not like other dogs. So when this dog jumped down and landed on this hybrid, he turned around and bit it, and the head, and bit it so hard that the eye popped out. And this guy said, "Wait, there's more to the story." And I was just kind of amazed there. Like I could hear that, because I remember when we'd go squirrel hunting there, trying to keep the squirrels off our feeders, and we would shoot them, and they would fall out of the tree, and Pepper would grab them, and she had such strong teeth that she would, and jaws, that she would crunch. You could hear the bones crunching, that she had such a death grip. So I could just picture that dog jumping on that wolf dog's back, and turned around and bit it in the head, and popped its eye out. Now the story goes that he took the dog into to have it surgically, the eye put back in. He said, "I paid $1,000 to have the surgery, to have that eye pop back into the skull for the wife there." And then she turned around and a few months later gave the dog away. He was so upset. He said, "God, if I'd known that, I would have I lost $1,000 on that." But it was interesting story, and I had to share that with you. Sometimes you just get a good laugh, and I was thinking about that all the way to the truck, and laughing and thinking about that all day, and just wanted to share that with you. But yeah, the joys of having a hybrid dog. Pepper was with us for 10 years, and hard to believe that it's been 12 years since she's been gone. But yeah, many memories there. I could definitely relate to the story. And another way that I could relate to the story is that when we lived in Northeast, before we moved up north there by Duluth, there was a neighbor down the road that always had these pit bulls. Pit bulls are pretty much known of attacking. They have like a death grip. Once they get a hold of you, they don't let go. And I remember one of the neighbors had a pretty wolf dog like that, and the pit bull had grabbed hold of it and wouldn't let go. and I remembered that well. But he always walked his dogs up and down the alley. He was so proud that he could walk this pit bull down, and that's, I got the biggest, baddest dog in the alley. Now, until Pepper came along. And Pepper, like I said, she had the wolf in her. She was quick, she was fast, smart, and I wasn't there, but I remember Gordon's telling the story that we had adopted another dog. There was another kind of hybrid Alaskan Husky that we had for a short amount of time. It must have ran away or something, and we kept it in the neighbor's yard where we had our garage there in the alley. And it was much bigger, big, tall, hefty, But it was the male, and then she was the female. But she controlled him quite well, and that pit bull came down the alley and started to fight with the bigger dog. And the way Gordon tells the story is that Pepper jumped the fence, came over and started helping the dog. And the pit bull grabbed a hold of Pepper somewhere and wouldn't let go. And then Pepper turned around and bit it in the head. And I could imagine that the force of the bite forced the dog to let go, and started screaming and ran down the alley. And the owner was really frustrated because he was going up and down the alley screaming and yelling, blah 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 blah, this dog, blah blah blah, that dog. But it was just apropos. It was that dog thought it was the biggest, baddest dog in the neighborhood until it met its match, and the owner was put. I had to go home in disgrace. But that was another story about Pepper, our wolf dog. But interesting. I can tell you another one about Esther, but that again, they're just, these hybrid dogs are so quick. Interesting how they have adapted over the years to put up with us, but yet the real nature of the beast is still with them. And I'm going to leave you with a song. This is from 1983. Ozzy, lead singer of Black Sabbath, went solo. And this was like his third album. So about 83. So after a year I moved up, I remember just playing a lot on the music video channels. And it's called Bark at the Moon. So it's just kind of apropos. So Ozzy, Bark at the Moon. And don't mess with the wolf dogs. March 15th. 14th.